Hey everybody, it's Omar Miranda with What's Your Problem? Sorry I haven't posted in a couple of days. Things have been kind of crazy hectic, but today I wanted to talk with you about fear, worry, and anxiety. You know, about 4 days ago, the London acid attacks happened, and I don't know if you how much you know about this, but men on mopeds basically for like an hour and a half just rode around like hurling acid at people, at actually five different people, and they injured them really, 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 really badly, and it seems like this is happening more and more in our world, and I don't know about you, but I tend to have anxiety and tend to have worry and fear, and it's so easy to have those things, especially with what's happening in our world these days. And so today I wanted to talk with you about how you can live an anxiety-free or a worry-free or a fear-free life. It is actually possible to do that. And so Jesus, in the book of Matthew chapter 6, we talked a couple weeks ago about Jesus, and remember, Jesus was this leader, and he was actually God, and his follower was a tax collector. This guy was not a person who people liked very much, and so he was following him around for a little over 3 years, and he was basically writing down a lot of the stuff he said and did, and Jesus said this when he was actually speaking to his disciples, and he was speaking to the people that were following him around. He said, "Don't worry and ask yourselves, will we have anything to eat? Will we have anything to drink? Will we have any clothes to wear?" Only people who don't know God are always worrying about such things. Your Father in heaven knows that you need all of these, but more than anything else, put God's work first and do what He wants. Then the other things, remember the other things He talked about were the food, the drink, the clothes. All of these things will be yours as well. Don't worry about tomorrow. It will take care of itself. You have enough worry. You have enough to worry about today. So what Jesus was actually saying was, He wasn't saying that we shouldn't worry about anything and we shouldn't worry about tomorrow, that we should just basically sit around and do nothing because if we're Christians, Jesus will give us all these things. That's not what He's saying at all. What He's saying is that as Christians, as Jesus followers, that we should put our focus on Him instead of on our worry. It's so easy to think about all these things, the things that are happening around the world, terrorists that are fighting all around the world. Maybe someone you know has cancer. Maybe someone you know got divorced. Maybe it's you we're talking about. But all these things cause us to have fear and worry. And so what Jesus is saying, if you're a Christian, you have access to Him. And so you don't have to put your focus on those things that are worrying you. You can change your focus and put it on Jesus. If you do that consistently over and over again as a practice of life, guess what will happen? All that fear and worry that you have, it will come way down. And Jesus promises that to you. He says, if you put the focus on Him, every single time you have fear and worry and anxiety, just put the focus on Him. And little by little, as you learn to do that, your fear will come way, 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 way down. All right, so how do you do that? Next week, I want to talk to you about actually how to do that consistently. There was a guy named Paul who basically had this huge life change. He went from being somebody like ISIS and being very, very angry at the world and everybody, and trying to kill and persecute Christians. He had this huge change and began to see the world differently and began to love Jesus and love His followers. And He gives us an actual recipe for how we should live our lives to have no fear, no worry, and no anxiety. So until next week, this is Omar Miranda with What's Your Problem? I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.